Welcome to Basically Us. This is the show where two friends met online, mentored, and decided to make a podcast. Together they will share good conversations and lively debates on current topics, or they might just faff about. And don't worry, they won't mind their P's and Q's. Ladies and gents, Brady and Benski.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the Basically Us podcast. I'm Benski, and we have Brady here with us today. Welcome to the podcast, guys. You know us talking about everything from music to movies to tech, but we have to start out with something unfortunately really, really sad. I know you guys will probably be watching this in the future, but today James Earl Jones passed away. And I feel like we should talk about that right off the bat. It's a sad day. How you doing, Brady?
Good, man. It is truly sad though, because I mean, like when somebody that is iconic as James Earl Jones passes away, it feels like you lose a little bit of your childhood, right? It's the same thing with like Betty White. And these like iconic actors that we've grown up to live with. So, and I'm sure we'll talk about it farther in the podcast, but yeah, sad day. You know, I lost Darth Vader, I lost Mufasa, lost the Sandlot.
Sandlot. So. What was his name in the Sandlot? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I just remember he was like the scary guy through the whole movie, and then come to find out he was like amazing, and he was like this amazing baseball player.
Babe Ruth's best friend.
So good. Yeah. So good. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, yeah, it is a pretty sad day. But we both had some also not nearly as sad news happen, and I'll let you kind of lean into it and kind of talk about it right away.
So okay, so it's been an eventful time off from podcasting, and I even took some time off of social media, as a matter of fact. So my wife had to have hip surgery, so that was a thing. And I'm going to start off by saying real quick here is that I love my wife to absolute death. She is my world, and I have found out that I'm terrible at taking care of people. Like, I am not good at taking care of people. Like, I am really good at like one thing, and that's like just doting over her and making sure she has everything she needs, carrying her around the house and all that stuff like that. But when it comes to actually taking care of a house, like, I'm a pretty techie guy. I feel like I'm a pretty smart guy. Sure. I am terrible at taking care of a house, work, and all of that. Dude, I'm so bad. And like the fact that she hasn't divorced me by now is a testimony to how much she loves me.
That's awesome. So when you say like taking care of it, is it like the upkeep? Is it the maintenance? Like what part of it aren't you good at? Because like I know,
yes. I mean, maintenance I'm good with, right?
Right, yeah. I was like, because your workspace is always way more cleaner than mine is. Like, so like, what part of it's not caulking? Good?
As long as it's not caulking, I am not. Okay. And people are going to make fun of me in the comments. I'm not good at handling caulk at all, right?
Yeah,
I'm not.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm pretty good at it. So
the wetting the finger and all that, I'm
just not good at the keeping your head straight.
Dude, I look like I kid you not. I look like a 3-year-old with cake dough, right? Or like cake batter,
just going for it.
It's so bad. But anyways, no. But besides that, though, I could build a house. No, it's just staying up on everything, right? Because I'm a list person, and so like I don't know to hunt down my daughter for her clothes, and then like, oh, this bathroom has to be cleaned this day, and then the kitchen and this that. It's just terrible, and I am so bad at it. But the problem is though is that this is such a temporary thing that I don't care to get good at it either.
Sure. Yeah, right? No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I feel that. It's like, it's yeah, no, I definitely feel that where it's like, I mean, I guess I could try to help, but like, what's this for?
Right. And we have the kids coming in day after tomorrow. So, okay. Of course, again, back to like episode 1, we can't look like we live here, even though the kids are going to come here. But no, so within an hour of getting her home, right, Benski? And because I know you had a flood too, within an hour of getting her home, it sounded like the best way to describe it would be like if you can imagine what it would sound like inside of a house with like in the Walking Dead environment with all the zombies beating on your house, right? It was this like crazy deluge of water and hail. My backyard, which is like slanted, I had like a 6 inches of water, and it filled up my my window well. And just water was like pouring into my office, just pouring into my office within an hour. Yeah, it was terrible.
That's
and so,
crazy.
you know, and like, funny story about that one is this has happened a few times, you know that. And so I bought this like super expensive, like window well pump thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, okay, cool. It'll never happen again. This is going to be good. Right. Bro, I kid you not. That thing failed so unbelievably bad. Right. To the point where it energized the water it was in. So like I even had a hard time getting it out because it was shocking the hell out of me the entire time. I just had to go back to my like old sump pump that I've had for years that I think I've and I'm just like, great, thank you for making me an idiot.
Made it more dangerous.
I want to go in and like just give it a worse review than like anybody ever, but like, you know, it's just not worth my time.
It's part of that shit happens kind of mentality thing. But no, it's so funny because it's like, yeah, you're right. So I think we had like because I think our basements flooded within like a day or two of each other.
Right.
And so like, yeah, this is a new build. We're in a new build. The house is only a little over a year old. And when it happened first last year, they came in and they're like, oh yeah, we like didn't seal it right. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, how did you like not do this right the first time? And so the second time it got like, you know, that's a standard window well. So what, like 3 feet high, maybe a little higher. It got like 2.5 feet tall. And it was coming through the seams. Luckily, it wasn't coming through the like edges anymore. But it had come down so hard and came in so fast that it was still flooding everything out. And it was crazy because we had. She said. Yes,
sorry.
she did. Yeah, she did.
It's coming in so hard.
It's just coming in so hard. Dang it, you got me.
Yes.
But no, it's crazy. It's funny because hopefully we can have Oz show this picture. I'll send him. But so we had hail too, and we were all at the pool. My daughter has a hard time. She doesn't like wind. She's like kind of scared of wind, and she's kind of scared of the rain. But we're like, I'm trying to make it fun, right? We're in the pool. I'm trying to make it fun. I'm like, guys, like, just come in. Like, we're in the water. Like, it's raining. And it was funny because my wife had made this comment that like all the white people left and just the brown people were in the like pool because it was like thundering and lightning and like raining. And I'm like, that's a very brown thing of us to do.
That usually screams danger. I'm just gonna let you know.
But all the brown people were in the pool still.
Or, and we've discussed this in the past, or wherever all the white people are going, that's dangerous as hell. I'm just going to let you know because they're wandering.
So we were in the pool, and I'm trying to encourage my daughter to come in, but then all of a sudden the hail started coming, and it wasn't just like little pea-sized hail. No. These were like gumball and bigger size hail. And like I said, hopefully Oz can put this in post and show this picture so everybody can see it. But my back, it looked like I had played paintball for 9 hours straight because I had grabbed my kids. And I was just holding him and like running into the car and like trying to open everything. And dude, I was getting pummeled. I was bruised for like a week. But then that's when we came back home and my wife was like, we should check the basement. And I was like, that's probably a good idea. And it was just damage had already been done. Because the way they routed, I live in like the quadplex or whatever, the way they had routed all the drains is that they go down into a central like underground drain to drain out into the street. But the hail came in so quickly, it clogged everything and then backfilled. And then that's why all the water came in through everybody's window well.
I think a lot of people don't understand too, though. Like when you live in these Western states, like you and I do, right? Mm-hmm. Is that we don't have like a groundwater problem. We don't have water like seeping in through the walls like you do in like say like Michigan or like, you know, places where high water tables are. We have runoff problems. That's the issue, is because the ground is so damn hard here. The water just hits it and goes, right? And like, so people don't understand that like our streets become rivers, right? Like, like in minutes.
And like, instantly. It's wild how fast that happens. Like, because I'm from, like we've talked about before, right? I'm from Jersey, so I do hurricane season. I do all that stuff all the time, and that's fine. It just rains for like 3 weeks, but everything comes in and it leaves. It doesn't matter. I remember the first time I was here during like monsoon season, and it blew my mind how much water piled up so quickly. And I was working for like a restoration company at the time, and we had a really bad monsoon come through. And I was busy for like 2.5 weeks just doing like flood restoration for all these different businesses and homes and whatever. And it was just like I was getting so much overtime, and I was just like, wow, I need to make sure whenever I get a house to have a pump. And our pump worked okay. It wasn't, I don't have it rigged up to kick on automatically, but it was nice when I put it down in there and shot it out.
Well, my automatic one did, but it like, you know, it went full shocker on me. And Anyway, no, so okay, but here's the thing though. So your basement flood actually turned out to be like, okay, so we know I just restored my room back to the way it was. You probably can't really even tell the difference, right? And it didn't even like hurt my podcast space. And like I pissed a lot of people off by telling them that I used a wand to do it in dark magic and all this other stuff. Like it took me hours to do it. Like it wasn't.
It took me hours. It wasn't actually a wand.
Fun behind the scenes movie magic moment. It took me hours, but you should be able to tell from the sweat. But you were able to upgrade your space, and the funniest thing about that is that like half the comments on your basement was the fact that now your basement isn't going to be driving me and my OCD nuts anymore.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, and that was the funniest part was like, it was like, oh, hopefully Brady won't have an aneurysm anymore. And you probably still will, because it's like, I will say it's about 90% there. Because I'm doing all these like farmers markets now and these other shows. So like, I get it really close, but then I have to like pull out of inventory. But it's definitely way better than it used to be. But the blessing, or not blessing, I don't know what it was yet. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Is I decided to get a resin printer. Because one of our good friends over on TikTok, Akuma, was selling one. And I was like, of all the people I'm going to trust to buy a resin printer off of, it's going to be Akuma, the resin god himself. And so I bought one. And, I've showed you this, but I can show our viewers this. This is what I'm doing now. This is a Predator bust, and I did the painting, or I guess the rub and buff with the painting, and I gotta tell you, I've become obsessed with it almost instantly. I got this one I'm gonna do next. This is a Dr. Doom bust, so that'll be really fun, and this is actually kind of cool. Everybody who's watching this on YouTube, which by the way, thank you for watching on YouTube, please subscribe if you're not. This is kind of the process. This is how it starts. This is a Wolverine one that I'm going to do next. But yeah, I have become so obsessed with resin printing, because you have a resin printer, don't you?
Bitch, you know I don't have a resin printer.
I know you don't. I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, you should get one. I will say the only thing, and I think everybody talks about this, and anyone who's listening who's thinking about resin printing, you just have to just remember, resin stinks. It stinks real bad.
Like, don't you have the filter though and all that?
No, no, I don't.
Oh, I couldn't do it because I used to have a resin printer, right? So I had this like back in the day, this like Anycubic Photon SE, and it was like fully enclosed, but it didn't have a filter. And dude, it was like, I kid you not, it was probably like a build plate of like 3 inches by 6, maybe, right? It was tiny, and I like would print stuff on it and then hate myself for like days because I had to be down here in the basement with it, and it just like settled here no matter how much I opened windows and everything else like that. And like I was afraid that it was going to kill my daughter at some point. So no, I'm joking. Like I don't think it's that bad, but
it's not that bad.
No, but like it was bad. So, but I do love the detail is so crazy. The detail is it's so
insane.
Crazy.
It's insane. I should make a correction. There is like the carbon filter on the back of it because it's the new Hallow Mage from Creality. Which Creality, if you want to do something, we're here for it. We both love our K1 Maxes, so
sure.
Creality, just so you know.
That still like one of my favorite printers, by the way.
Oh, it's seriously one of my favorite printers. I had to pause it, because it's one of my favorite printers. But it has that filter, so it's not as stinky as I think as it could be. But like it's enough where like my wife was down here helping me do some stuff for some markets we're getting ready for, and she was just like, "Does this not give you a headache?" And I was like, "If it does, it's perpetual." But I just think it smells at this point, so it's not that bad.
You're so much nicer than me because I would have been like, "Honey, no, I got a headache when you walk downstairs." That's what happened.
Go drink some water. Dude, okay, real quick. This do you have to remind your wife to drink water?
No, mine's more eating than anything else.
Oh, really? Yeah, mine's my wife
is one of those people that. My wife is one of those people that like, if she doesn't like what we're eating, she's not going to say anything. She just won't eat, and like she could go days without eating, and I'm just like, honey, you got to eat something. So like. That's my reminder to her, but most of the time I just have to remind her to be nice to me because I'm an idiot.
Dude, yeah, well, I have to remind my wife to be nice to me, but yeah, water, dude. It's funny because she was. I remember when we first were like together, she like couldn't believe how much water I drink because I drink a lot of like energy drinks and soda, but she couldn't believe how much water I was drinking also, and it was just like. I drank so much water that when I was going through all of my like doctor stuff, my doctor was like, hey, you're drinking too much water. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, your kidneys actually aren't filtering the toxins because you're drinking water at such high levels that it's just passing through your body without your kidneys doing their job. And he was like, how much water? It's a wild thing. Well, okay, here's the deal. He was like, how much water are you drinking? I was drinking at that time. I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day.
Whoa, yeah, that's too much.
Because, well, I'm terrified of trying to get like a freaking kidney stone. Like, I'm terrified of that for some reason. I've never had one. But it's just like somebody told me one time that if you drink too much like soda or tea and not enough water, you can get one. And that just scared me enough that I was like, okay, here's what I do is I have 1 can of soda and 3 glasses of water. Like, that's how my ratio is. But the problem is I drink like 12 cans of soda a day. So,
dude,
I'm drinking a lot.
Bring the kidney stone on.
No,
I mean, I'm good. I don't care. No, okay, so, but we've been talking about 3D printing, right? Like, so there has been, like, because, okay, for anybody that's watching that doesn't know that we're in 3D printing space, we're involved in 3D printing social media and 3D printing groups. And, you know, I think some groups have sectioned off and stuff like that. But nevertheless, usually it's very drama-free for the most part. Now, we have had quite the drama over the last, like, I would say the last little bit. We had a gyro fidget that somehow got patented, right? Even though it's been around since like 2014.
I know, right?
And then
2012, we can find it. We found it. 2012 was the first time it hit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that's crazy. And then we had more drama that you were involved in. So
I think I started it actually.
Either you or Steven did, for sure. It was one of the two.
Well, Steven started it with him a long time ago about something else. And then I was this main round was I guess quote unquote my fault. It depends who you ask. But yeah, so okay.
Well, you kind of got it from both sides though.
Yeah,
without naming names, you got it from both sides.
No, that's wild. Yeah, what's crazy is I had people that used to be in my corner that were very upset at me, and then I had people on his side that were very upset with me. And to me, like, and I'm not trying to. To me, what that indicates is that I was right, and I know that sounds really cocky or whatever, but like, it really tells me that like what I brought up was correct. And so for anybody who isn't on TikTok and isn't involved in this or didn't see it or isn't in the 3D space, you wouldn't know what this is. But what had happened was there was this gentleman who had got on there and went on this rant about hobbyist 3D printers and about how they don't have a place in the marketplace for selling 3D prints, that they undercut the professional person, that they are lazy if they use multicolor printers like bamboos, and that the only people you should buy product from are people who are hand painting their stuff, who have tax IDs, who have legit businesses, who have insurance, who account for all their time. And I got on because I actually had 2 people reach out to me, again, I won't name their names, because they saw the video and they were upset because they're like, hey, you know, what do I do? Because this person it feels like they're discouraging me from continuing to do this. And you and I both have the same mentality when it comes to 3D printing, which is this should be a space for everyone, and that you should be able to express yourself to do whatever you want in this 3D space. And so the fact that somebody came in and berated and belittled hobbyist 3D printers to tell them to basically get out of the hobby, I had a problem with. And that was the whole point of my video, was that like, you stop telling people that. And now I went after him. There were some things I was petty about. He had a picture. He was talking about how professional he was, and yet he has this product picture and his bare toes are hanging out in the corner, and it was disgusting. And I'm like, you can't tell me you're professional and don't even take professional pictures. And then he's like, oh, I'm professional, but he has like the Disney font logos for his thing. It's like, bro, like, if you're gonna come at people, you better be ready to like take it and realize that you're not also professional. But yeah, it was really interesting. And I think what's starting to piss me off now is he's commented on your videos, I think, right? Has he made comments on your videos?
Yeah, but real quick, I want to address something. If you are going to have your feet in a picture, make sure you paint your goddamn toes. Right?
I know Mr. Hand Painter can't even have them painted.
Right. If you're going to talk about how multicolor everything has to be, paint your toes, man. I swear. Like, make sure you pretty them up. Shave the backs of your toes. That's gross.
Dude, it was so bad. It was so disgusting.
Give me something to look at, bro.
Gross.
If you're going to put your feet in, give me something to look at. And I don't even like feet. Feet are gross.
I hate feet.
I hate feet.
I do
mean,
hate
like,
feet.
kind of.
I hate feet
but anyways,
so much.
no. Okay, so yeah, he has commented on my stuff, and weirdly, so I love the fact that one of the first comments that I get is from you when you were like, "Whoa, man, you took this very calmly, right?"
Oh yeah.
When I did my video, and the funniest thing is, my video was actually the same thing that you got bitched out about. I addressed literally everything in that video and wasn't bitching at all. I did not bitch at all during that video or anything else like that. And the funniest thing is that like I got more shit for addressing it calmly than how I would normally deal with things, right?
Yeah.
So, and like everybody's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know, man. I've been off of social media for a while, so maybe I'm just a little rusty. Then that asshole commented again, and then I went full bore. Right?
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like, here's where I'm getting pissed off. Right? He's commenting on your videos. He commented on our couple other buddies' videos. I don't want to name names because we didn't talk to him about this beforehand. But you know, they've commented on a couple of our other friends' videos. Like we're on a group chat together. He has not come after me, and it bothers me because it seems like you're the exception to what I'm about to say because you outpace me in followers, but he's commenting on all of our friends that are lower follower counts that have less engagement. Like it's like he's going after them because he thinks they're easy, and like it's like, bro, like come after me. Like come talk to me. Like I feel like it's one of those things where he knows that my kid's dad could beat the shit out of his kid's dad, if you know what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah.
It's like I just don't know what to do because like the other person who again, we won't name names, but the other person who got pissed off at me for making that video was somebody that at some point you and I think could call mutuals, but now the relationship's interesting right now. Well, that's true. He's not even a mutual for you anymore.
It hasn't been for a while.
Well, I think it was that whole controversy. Yeah, you made a video.
Yeah,
bro, that was okay. Actually, listen, I'll say this out loud. I'll say this out loud.
No, just let it die. Let it die.
No, fine. I'll let it die because I love you.
Let it die.
Just, I swear to God. Anyways,
let that one die.
Here's the problem I have, and this is going to be an overarching problem in general. I am the kind of person that when people are being attacked and I can do something about it, I'm going to.
Always.
And I think, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say this. I think it's cowardice to stand behind I don't get involved in drama if people you love are being attacked.
Yeah, it's a stance of non-involvement. It's a stance if you take a stance of non-involvement in an issue that you know somebody is being wrong, you were just as big of a part of the problem as somebody that's trying to defend somebody.
And there's a difference between people who keep out of the drama completely, but then the people who want to say I hate drama, they want to address it and then be like, but you're stupid if you have drama. It's like, first of all, that person didn't even tag me in it. They're like, I'm gonna name names, and it's like, tag me in it then. Like I had to find out that I was being talked about in that video.
So
like
during my drama, I had to find that out too. Right?
Yeah.
I had to find out through like third party. It's okay though. It's fine. The funniest thing is on the whole situation though, is the fact that like throughout you and I like kind of doing the whole I've been accused of white knighting. You can call it what you want, right? But you and I kind of coming in to rescue for people who are trying to gain followers or trying to gain and they really just don't have the voice to be able to say something because they don't want to piss people off, right? And you and I just don't care. And the funniest thing is I still have a screenshot, and I don't have my phone on me, but like I'll send it to you. Mm-hmm. I have a screenshot of like when I was going through, like basically a lot of our mutuals just kind of like wanting to have nothing to do with me anymore, right? Over a certain thing. And I felt like I was right. I still do feel like I was right.
Oh, you were 100%.
Yeah, and I'm not going to back off of that. But I remember you going, "Hey, man, if you want to try to let cooler heads prevail, I can help you with that. Or, and then ... we can burn this bitch down. Fuck it." I was like, That's my ride or die homie.
Yeah,
right
man.
there.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, like it's funny because there's a couple people that sent me DMs after that video that were like, "Oh, this is why you don't mess with Benski." It's like, that's correct. Like, I was on a live shortly after that, and somebody else was just like, "Oh, Benski, you really are the guy that like is the nicest guy and will probably help anybody." But then you just realize you don't cross you, and I was like, "Dude, I didn't even get that aggressive in that video." But like, I'm glad people know that. But that's the thing is like, I will continue to stand by that. Sure. I think 3D printing especially is one of the greatest hobbies you can be involved in. And I'm going to say this, and this is going to be really controversial. And again, anybody who comes over from TikTok to watch this, there's a core group of people who think that they are the ones who are drama free and they are the ones who just want to do it for the love of everything. And they're the ones that are making people not want to 3D print because they're not a part of the clique. They're not a part of the group inside or everything. And it's sad because there are so many people that I think would not have gotten the chance to express themselves. And I'm not saying this to say pat ourselves on the back, but you and I have found a lot of people together that are like, wow, guys, like you guys should go look at this person because they're just doing something they love. One of our good friends in the chat that we talked
100%.
With,
100%. I was going to say it.
Would not have gotten that. I'm not saying he wouldn't have gotten the chance, but like that was our goal, was just to expose guys, go look at this content because it's amazing.
Okay, hold on a second, because I'm going to take a brief moment because this is kind of funny and it's something that I don't even think you know about. So DORKVADER, Josh at DORKVADER, I'm calling you out. Good. And this is to Josh's mom because Josh's mom watches our podcast as well. He is famous as hell. I love him. I watch him. Like, that is like my guilty pleasure on TikTok. I promise you. DORKVADER is my 2024 watch of the year. I absolutely love everything. Like, you know what? So like even take 3D printing outside of it. His love for that like nuclear glass or whatever that is, right? That's really cool.
Yeah, the atomic glass or whatever.
And then the dingy rock. The dingy rock.
Dude, that was the best. Dude, that was one of the funniest videos because it was just like everybody was just like, it's fake. Like, tell the one comment that was like, tell the guy banging the pipes behind you to have better time. Yes. It was like, what the hell?
Dude, it was so good.
Dude. But anyways, like, seriously, DORKVADER though.
Yes.
Is one of the best creators on that platform.
100%.
And nobody in that clique community was talking about him.
Right.
And that bothered me. And you and I, like, we're friends with him now. We're in a group chat with him. I was telling you guys today, I ignore my family group chat for weeks at a time. And this group chat with you guys is like the only one I'm on top of.
Dude, I was writing 2 12-page papers last night and still responding.
Yeah, you were. Well, yeah. How'd you do, by the way? You good? You feel good?
I shorted on one, so I was only like 10 on one, but like I feel like the information was there. Like it's hard to talk about project management for 12 pages, man. Like no matter what the subject is, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're just putting together an entire project proposal, but that's not what they're asking. But anyways, But okay, so drama over. Right? You told me that you have something that you want to talk about that you know is going to get me worked up. So I've been dying to hear about it.
Well, okay. So I'll present it. We'll start, and then we'll see how we can get you tied up. But we need to talk about, because we never really talked about this, about Marvel versus DC.
Oh shit.
Okay. I know.
Okay.
And we talk a lot about like culture stuff and whatever, and so I need to know, are you, if you had to wipe one off the face of the planet completely, are you wiping DC or are you wiping Marvel?
Qualifying question.
Okay.
Do the Ninja Turtles go with DC?
Do you want them to?
No.
I say no.
Okay, then fine. DC.
I say no.
DC.
You're wiping DC.
Easy choice.
Wow.
Easy choice. 100% easy choice. There is nothing that DC has.
You got a pumpkin spice macchiato to go with that?
There is nothing,
bitch.
Absolutely nothing that DC has that Marvel doesn't have better. Not one fucking thing. Not one. Give me one thing besides one. Okay, I'm going to give you one.
Okay.
We'll talk about it here in a minute. But besides that one, right? Give me something that DC has better than Marvel.
Every character arc. Every character arc. Every single one.
Superman, white bread, bro. White bread. Boring
Superman
as
is white bread. Hold on.
Horrible.
Superman's white bread. I'll give you that.
Aquaman,
100% white bread.
Worst superhero ever.
Okay, hold on. Time out.
Worst
time out.
superhero
Time
ever.
out. Aquaman has the single greatest superhero entrance on the planet.
Okay, hold on.
He comes in.
You're talking about Jason Momoa. Now I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the comics. I'm talking about when they introduce Aquaman. They're like, "Hey, who are you?" And you're like, "I'm Aquaman." They're like, "Well, you're stupid. I'm a poacher." And he grabs a polar bear and throws the polar bear at the poachers, and the polar bear takes care of those guys. Bro, what are you talking about?
Aquaman
That's amazing.
Is trash, bro.
Oh my God,
trash, bro.
No.
Trash.
No.
I control the oceans. I'm the king of the oceans.
Okay, see, this is okay. Look, I'm gonna give this to you because I realize what it is. Uneducated people don't like DC. That's what it is. Okay, because Aquaman is as fast as Superman. He could beat Superman toe-to-toe. And do you know why he can beat Superman toe-to-toe? Because Superman has two weaknesses that people don't talk about. It's kryptonite, we all know that, but two is magic. And guess what? Aquaman's trident, magical. And he's just as strong. He's fast. He has not only like all of Earth, but also the water at his disposal. And in some variations, because you always have to talk about the million variations of every comic book character, whether it's Marvel or DC, he can control the water inside of your body. If he wanted to, he just snaps his fingers and he makes you go nuts inside your brain and has an aneurysm.
I'm sorry, but
bro is sick. Bro is stacked.
I am Namor all the way. Aquaman of Marvel. Aquaman of Marvel. I mean, I'm sorry. Like there is nothing that DC has that Marvel doesn't do better. If we want to argue comic books, okay, maybe until you get to the multiverse and the crossover comic books with Marvel. The Marvel crossover comic books were way, way better than the DC crossover comic book.
No, Flashpoint is the greatest crossover multiverse.
I mean, it's good.
Anything that's ever happened.
I'll give you Flashpoint was good.
Flashpoint was good. Is incredible.
Flashpoint was good, right? But then you also have like the multiverse Infinity Gauntlet stuff, which had crossovers, which was awesome.
Sure.
I mean, but here's the thing, though. It's like if you just look at the mains for DC and you look at the mains for Marvel, right?
Okay,
and it could be this too. Hold on, real quick. It could be this too. Okay. It could be the fact that if we're just comparing comic books, Benski, I would say that I wouldn't want to get rid of either one of them, right? Like that's a really hard choice.
I can give you that.
Like that's a really hard choice. We could get rid of the comic book that had Jughead in it. Like Archie comics, right?
Yeah.
We can get rid of that shit. But overall, though, if I just look at Marvel as a whole and I look at DC as a whole, I just go back to the fact of the comic books. You can make an argument either way.
You could, yeah.
TV shows, as far as cartoons, definitely goes to DC all day.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
The DC cartoons were amazing. My boy Mark Hamill, right, was like the voice of Joker.
Oh, Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, it was
Mark
amazing,
Hamill.
right? Yeah, so really good. But then if you just look over the overall presence of it, right, is that Marvel, the movies are so much. I mean, like DC, like has such a bad time of putting together a movie, right? Like the last. I mean, they do, man. They have such a bad time putting together movies.
My honest thing, I think the ratio is the same. See, because you got to think, the MCU's got like what 30 movies now, and like only half of them are good.
True, but
and a quarter of them are amazing. But with but I think that's the same thing with the DCU. I think half of them are good, and a quarter of them are amazing.
In the last 5 years, dude. In the last 5 years, there has not been really anything that DC can hang their hat on. I'm sorry, there isn't.
I am a huge, and we can talk about this later because this will be such a long tangent. I loved the Batman so much.
Okay, so much. Oh, you're talking about Robert Pattinson?
Yeah,
that was solid.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best things I've ever seen.
But
It was just so like I love westerns, and the fact that it felt like a noir western Batman was just phenomenal.
I felt like it was more like this is actually kind of our stick, I guess, but I kind of felt it a bit more like a European crime drama.
Sure.
like a Murder on the Orient Express type thing with a little bit more action to it. But I liked it because they took the detective route on thing. But that's the thing though. So like you're talking about the one, I would say the one pass that DC has that like I can't argue I can't argue.
My point my point being though is like the ratio I think is the same. Because here I'm going to say this. Here's my hottest take. Also, maybe not my hottest take, but it's a hot take. Within the TV shows, DC also kills it. Not animated, like live action, like Doom Patrol. Fantastic. Like it's fantastic.
It was good.
Titans was not that great, but it was tolerable. Gotham I really liked. It was weird to have it go in like a weird direction that wasn't as true to the source material, but it was still really good. But like Marvel, the best show I've seen out of Marvel
really isn't one.
Loki's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, Loki was good. I mean, like, okay, so
but it's still not great.
No, it's just not great, right? Like, it's not great. I think Loki is. Here's my hot take on Marvel. This is a big hot take, and I'm sure you're gonna jump my ass for this one. Is that
Captain Marvel's your favorite?
No, but Captain Marvel's bad though, dude. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I did actually real quick. Now that I just said Captain Marvel's bad, my wife hates it because she thinks she's just ugly as hell, right? But I think Brie Larson's super pretty. But I came to a crazy realization last night. I like when I'm pulling reports and stuff like that, and I'm editing for social media. I always put on a movie, right? Just like as a mindless watch. And I put on Quantum Mania. And dude, here's a weird Marvel hot take. I still think that Janet Pym, right? Which is
Michelle
Pfeiffer, right? Michelle Pfeiffer is still in like the top 3 hottest for Marvel. Straight up.
Literally hands down. Literally hands down. You don't know. I don't know if you know this about me. My wife knows this. So she's gonna watch this and go, of course you'd say that. Bro, older women, sign me up,
and
bro.
Crossover to DC, Catwoman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but no, so go back to my Marvel hot take, right? Is that I feel like Loki plays the same type of character that that Hulk does when it comes to Marvel movies, right? We've proven now twice that Hulk movies don't stand well on their own, right? Because you can't do an hour and a half of Hulk smash. Oh, God, I can't believe I did that when I was Hulk. Oh, I'm trying to be away from Hulk. Oh, Hulk smash.
Why am I so angry?
Oh, seriously, right? Like, it's, oh, my God. So Hulk works in a movie better as a B character, right? The same as Loki works in a movie better as like either the villain or as a B character. The show just is a hard time for me to carry a show on Loki. And matter of fact, in season 2, one of the guys says it. Wow. Go with take 2. One of the people in the show say that, hey, Loki, you're an ineffectual character. Nobody cares about you. You're bad all the way around. And I'm not going to lie, man. Even though I wanted the bad guy to like get like crooked up, I was sitting there like, he's kind of got a point, right? But anyway.
He's not wrong.
I mean, like, he's not wrong.
No, but that's the hard part. Is like, I can't like, I know. And the hard part is like, again, that's where I'm saying like the mass of content that Marvel has, I think it's the same ratio when you say, hey, these were really good. Because look, phase 1 was incredible. And I'll say that through and through, every single part of phase 1 was my favorite thing to watch. But there is like just so much of I don't know. I just want it to be better, because after Age of Ultron, I feel like nothing's stacked up ever since then.
What? Infinity War didn't stack up. Are you serious right now?
I'm gonna say it. It was fan service, and that was it. Like,
Oh my
I
God.
think if you would have just gotten Infinity War, like just pretended there's a world where Infinity War was the first Marvel thing you'd watch, you'd go, this was just an action dump of nothingness.
What?
But because we had the investment previously, it was fantastic. But Age of Ultron stands alone, in my opinion, as the greatest MCU movie. Because you could have watched that in a vacuum and would have been like, this is freaking insane. It's so good. It's incredible. David Spader was just fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
And that whole end monologue between him and Vision is one of the greatest monologue speeches I've ever heard
I would
in my
agree,
life.
but at the same time, man, like, I feel like you saying Age of Ultron was the great. I mean, you're always entitled to your opinion. But it could be.
You're always entitled to your own wrong opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna go on with that. Like, I'm being very PC today. I think that you are leaving one out that I think almost cannot be argued as the greatest Marvel movie of all time. And it's
I'll
the problem is that
you can say, because you might be right.
The issue is that here's the problem, and we've talked about this plenty of times. You have a not bullshit. You have a really bad bias against the person that starred in the movie, right? But overall, cinematically,
if you
storyline and everything else is Winter Soldier, bro. Straight up, Winter Soldier. The Russos killed it on Winter Soldier.
Bro, it was
Winter Soldier was amazing.
Okay, here's the deal. Winter Soldier is not my favorite, but it is good. It's definitely in my top. I'll give it my top 4. I won't say it doesn't hit 5. It might be number 4 for my favorite MCU movies.
What about the Marvels though?
No. Okay, the Marvels wasn't as bad as
terrible.
everyone told me it was.
It was that bad.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as everyone said it was.
You know what was bad? Birds of Prey. Let's talk about back to DC. Birds of Prey. Terrible movie. And I love Margot Robbie. I basically married a person that looks like Margot Robbie. And I got to tell you right now, that movie fucking sucked. The original Suicide Squad. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. With the dancing, fucking, like, come on. But you know what was missing? You know what was missing in all those? What about the Batmans, though?
Batman. Okay,
we can agree on this.
We can agree that Batman might take the cake. Period.
I mean,
I said might.
Batman's
I'm
really
not saying he is. Batman's great.
The Batman's
and
is
he's
good.
As a kid, Batman was 100% my favorite. Like unquestionable my favorite. I moved into a Punisher phase. I'm still actually there, but Batman. Who's your favorite? I don't want to spend too much time on this, but just instinctively, who's your favorite Batman?
Ugh. Okay. Man. Okay.
Actually, hold on. Let me.
Yeah. You tell
I want
me.
this to be 2 questions. I want this to be 2 questions. One, who's your favorite Batman?
Easy.
Or 3 questions. Sorry. Who's your favorite Batman? Who's your favorite Bruce Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
And who's your favorite combo? Like who played who the best?
That's a good one. I like that.
And I want to talk about live action because we just got to admit it. Kevin Conroy takes the cake, 100% best Batman.
Are you talking about
he's
like
animated?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So we're just gonna all talk about that was the best. But yeah, give me those 3. Give me best Batman, best Bruce Wayne, best combo.
Best Batman, Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Love Michael Keaton as Batman.
Okay.
I would say best Bruce Wayne. I'm gonna get some hate for this, but Ben Affleck's, bro. Ben Affleck, I thought was a killer Bruce Wayne, just because in real life he's an asshole and he's played assholes in like every movie I've
just
seen. Right? It's just Ben Affleck. It's awesome. He played a great and like just even the way that he dealt with like Aquaman and the Justice League and everything else like that. He was like, bitch, get out of my face. I'm Batman.
Like, do you know how
like,
rich I am?
You know, yeah, right? Like, the fuck? And then best combo? Lee, man, because, you know,
this is the hardest
Robert Pattinson, hands down.
Really?
Best combo.
Okay. You know,
best
honestly,
combo.
I don't think we're gonna fight about this as much as you thought. So, my favorite Batman is actually Robert Pattinson. He's my favorite because he was the most detective-y of them all. And I think that's a very peak Batman thing. The best Bruce Wayne, I actually agree with you. It's Ben Affleck. That's just always been my favorite Bruce Wayne. Combo is this is going to be a little bit of hate. My favorite combo, and I need to qualify this with because of how much I enjoyed reading some of the older comics.
If you say some stupid ass shit, go ahead.
I don't want to now.
Go ahead. Say it. Say it.
George Clooney.
Oh
No,
my God.
hold on.
George, nipple Batman? Are you serious right now?
Hold on. Let me qualify this. I want to qualify this. Okay. I'm talking about the best combo, okay? Because George Clooney's Batman, whether we want to admit it or not, which we don't like to, had some of the best Alfred relationship Bruce Wayne detective work that we've ever seen. And it really dove into the human side of Bruce Wayne with Alfred, with Robin, with Batgirl. Like we really got to see why he loves his family more than we've ever seen before.
Bro.
And as Batman, it was very campy, but it was also very, very comic booky. And I'm also going to pull in, whether people want to like it or not, his Flash cameo as Bruce Wayne was one of the best Bruce Wayne cameos we've ever had.
You are literally going to sit there and say that it was one of the best Bruce Wayne cameos when Michael Keaton was actually in the movie. Batman coming back like the baddest Batman of all time.
If we're talking about George Clooney Batman
with the blue Batman outfit with the nipples and shit like that. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
It was just such a good combo.
They rollerbladed in the movie, bro.
It was ice skating.
Whatever. It's the same thing, right? Like it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Like, okay. Yeah. Dude, come on.
I admit it's a hot take.
Whoa.
But I'm going to stand by it.
George Clooney Batman, I will never forgive you for that. I swear to God, I'm just going to print off. I'm going to 3D print Batman nipples and just send them to you. That's what you're getting for Christmas.
I want people in the comments who are watching this on YouTube to tell me who they think is the best Batman and why they agree with me.
And then unfollow us if you're fucking saying George Clooney. God.
Okay,
I'm just kidding.
But speaking of all these Batmans, the thing that I want to spend some time on, and I want to know, and I already have the list too. Live action Batmobiles. I want to rank these from like the best to the worst.
Okay.
And the list that I have, I'm going to tell you the list that I have. You tell me if you agree with the list, and then we'll go on to that. So the list is Adam West Batman Batmobile. So we're going old school from like 66. Batman and Robin Batmobile, which is the Joel Schumacher version. Tim Burton's Batmobile. Batman versus Superman Batmobile. Batman Forever Batmobile, which I think they're really similar. The two, the Batman and Robin Batman Forever, but they're a little different.
3 or 4 of those is
they're real similar. Mm-hmm. The Tumbler Batmobile from Dark Knight trilogy, and Robert Pattinson's the Batman Muscle,
which
Batmobile.
is like a Challenger, right?
I think so. I think it was a Challenger body,
or like a Roadrunner or something like that.
I can't remember exactly, but that was a really. Did you ever read that like pre-comic that came out before the movie about that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was really cool. It was just they dove into the fact that he was a street racer and he loved building muscle cars, and that's why he built that one. And it was just so cool. Anyways, but yeah,
they kind of took a Tony Stark arc to it.
Yeah, kind of.
So no, okay. So real quick, I want to qualify here.
Yeah,
you said you said all of the ones. Are you going to include a Hot Wheels with dicks on it for Batman and Robin? You might as well. Right? Because that's how terrible it was. But anyways,
it was so bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
Easy decision for me, Tumblr, all day long.
That's your number one?
Number one, all day long.
Wow. Okay, my number one is the Batman muscle car.
That's a good one. I would say that would be one. Like, weirdly enough, if you wanted me to like rank mine, I would say I would go Tumblr. Okay. I loved the the Batmobile from Batman vs Superman. Love the Batmobile. It's so hard,
slick,
so hard,
so slick.
Like it reminded me of something like what we just talked about last movie or last episode was we talked about Borderlands. It reminded me of something off of Borderlands, right? It's like low slung, it was super wide, it had the guns. Like I loved that Batmobile.
So good.
Then I would say that I would go into. I really want to say that like the original Batmobile was like my thing, but
dude, it's good.
Yeah. I would say that I would go into the Batmans of the 80s, right? Like the 80s and 90s, because they all look kind of very similar. And then I would put the wannabe fucking Speed Racer Mach 5 Batmobile at the end.
Tim Burton's Batman one?
No, I'm talking about the original Batmobile. Looks like the Mach 5. Without the cool monkey. Like, I want the monkey from the Mach 5. Mach 5 is Speed Racer. But other than that,
dude,
though,
it's like, so... Yeah. Because, I definitely love the muscle car, number one. I put like the Joel Schumacher like Batman Forever ones like in the middle, like they were whatever. But like Tim Burton's one, like Michael Keaton's Batmobile, that kind of comes in second for me because it was just to me that's like very iconically the Batmobile. The weird part is, I actually think I hate the Tumbler the most.
Really?
Yeah, because to me it's the least Batmobile looking one. It's funny because they even explained it in the movie where it's like, oh, this was our like crazy tank, and it just looks like a tank. And like what I don't like about it is they have other tumblers that roll around. All the other Batmobiles, they don't have those rolling around. But they have other tumblers. He just painted his tumbler black.
Well, and also had the motorcycle thing in it.
Right. Well, we don't know that the other tumblers didn't have it. We just didn't see it.
Don't you think that the bad guys would have used it at one point or another?
I think Bane was just trying to just monkey around everybody.
Shoot a man before you throw him out of a plane.
What a lovely voice.
Dude.
The Tumbler is my least favorite just because it's the least Batmobile-y, in my opinion. But I do also know that like Christopher Nolan was trying to go for like a more like Batman could exist in this world kind of Batman, so like it makes sense that it was something that was relatable,
and that's why I liked it because it was realistic, right? Like it was realistic, and you can buy one and you can actually like drive it. You know, part of my decision making process. It's my love. Part of my decision-making process on this was that, like, I watch a lot of Pawn Stars, and I probably shouldn't, right? But, like, multiple Batmobiles have come up on Pawn Stars, right? And, like, they're all pieces of shit, like, in real life, right? They're just, like, falling apart, and, like, they're just fiberglass, and, like, they're terrible, right?
Yeah.
But they actually had a tumbler, and tumblers are real, and, like, they can go, like, 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. They have great suspension. They can actually, like, I mean, all the way around. It made sense to me for... So like the crazy thing is Batmobiles didn't make sense to me like early on because I'm like Gotham, let's call it New York, right? Is so tight for that long of a vehicle to be in Gotham. Right? And for it to really make sense. And like the difference between the live action movies and the cartoons is like in the cartoons, the Batmobile is able to go up on its side. And I think that's just a physics thing and like a safety thing and go up on the side and go through like, through like alleys and stuff like that. Whereas like, if you're doing it in a movie, I think the more you shorten the wheel axis, you make it kind of more tanky. I think it makes more sense for Batman to be in something like that, opposed to these like extremely long vehicles that shoot flames out the back.
Have turbines in the front for some reason.
And light up with all these neons and everything else like that, right? So
that's why I really love Robert Pattinson's one because it's just like a modded out Challenger.
Yeah, it's rad.
And it's just tough. And it was so funny. I remember watching it in theaters, and there was this kid that was like, "I can't believe he stalled his car." I was like, he didn't. I don't think you realize what he's doing. He's about to wreck these dudes real hard. So there is about 500 horse in that thing right now, and it's not forgiving.
Oh yeah. What was the actual? Did you look up the actual ranking?
No, No, I didn't look up the actual ranking. This was just like for us. This was just like what I thought it was.
I bet people said some stupid ass shit in there.
I'm positive it's so funny. I just watched this this other podcast, or it was like an improv thing, and they were like, "Okay, you're a 30-year-old white man." He goes, "Christopher Nolan Batman is cinematic masterpiece," and I was like, "Oh my god, that really is the most basic 30-year-old white dude thing you could say." So I'm sure the Tumblr is like number one for everybody.
You know what's crazy that you just said that though is that I'm completely on the other side of this thing. Is that like going back to what we were talking about earlier, real quick? Who played Batman in the Christian Bale? Christian Bale. Christian Bale was physically, I believe, the best Batman. Now,
yes,
as soon as he opens his stupid trap, I'm over it. Oh, that's darkest. The darkest. Yeah. The night is only darkness before the light.
I'm a mouth breather, so I can make this voice.
But like, we gotta get more throaty with it. Like, it's so bad.
Where are the other jokes going?
What is the Joker doing?
I don't kill like scum like you. He's just like always out of breath for some reason.
But that makes me sad now that we're talking about voices, because again, we lost James Earl Jones today, and like I've been struggling on this podcast to not like get a little teary eyed, and like don't get me wrong, he was like 93 years old, right? Like
sure, yeah. I mean, like, it's not like this was a lot like a Patrick Swayze thing where it was just like in a lot of ways it's okay.
Roadhouse.
He was there. But yeah, man, I mean, I feel like especially people around our age, you can't find anybody whose childhood wasn't shaped in one way or another by James Earl Jones.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. 100%.
I was a Sandlot kid. I was a Sandlot kid before I was a Lion King kid. Before I was a Star Wars kid, I was a Sandlot kid. Baseball runs through my blood. I played baseball for years, and Sandlot shaped me in a lot of ways. And he was so pivotal in that movie. He wasn't in that long, but like he was the whole reason that movie came together at the end was because of him.
Yeah.
But then you have Star Wars, you have Mufasa, you have just how do you deal with that?
Yeah. For me, I grew up a Star Wars kid, right? So being an 80s baby, I grew up with Star Wars. Like Star Wars was like really the first movie I remember. And, like when my parents would have like dinner parties or cocktail parties, I would be shuffled off to watch Star Wars, right? So Star Wars was like my comfort blanket when I was a kid. And I still, to this day, love the fact that one, hearing that voice was just so terrifying as a kid. But at the same time, it was like comforting as well, right? Like it was like, this dude knows what he's doing. Like when he hosed that dude at the table where he's like, don't be too confident in this this station that you built. You know what I'm saying? Like I loved that. And I also love the fact, like even as a grown adult, or as grown as I guess I can be, I'm still a child.
Physically grown.
Yeah. Is that James Earl Jones is responsible for one of the most like misspoken lines of all time. Like 100% one of the most misspoken lines. And then to like see him come back, and like at first it was so hard for me to separate James Earl Jones being Darth Vader to Mufasa, but it was crazy. Then there was a time period there that when you said James Earl Jones, I thought Mufasa. I'm like, okay, Mufasa.
Yeah.
Right. And, like I love Lion King. I love Lion King. I think it's the only hoodie I have is a Lion King hoodie. And he was so good in that too. Cause like if I was going to, don't get me wrong, Dad, if you're watching this, I love you. But if you have to talk to me from the grave, grab James Earl Jones. I like
let him do it.
Grab James Earl Jones. I would much rather have him talking. I'm kidding, Dad. I love you, but like, Simba.
But no, I mean seriously, you got to think about that, right? Like he has that line of remember who you are. I mean, you can't talk about a more prolific thing to say. Period. I mean, because we've talked about it, right? We've talked about this throughout the whole podcast. The things that we do on social media, the things we're doing now, it's about who we are. and we constantly remember who we are, and I feel like you can't ever say remember who you are without thinking about James Earl Jones, thinking about Mufasa, thinking about those
may I
things.
step in?
Yes, Oz,
Oh, yeah,
please do.
Oz,
The few more things you should really know about James Earl Jones. He served in the military.
Yep.
He was in the Korean War. He went to Ranger school. He received his Ranger tab.
He was a
He
ranger?
achieved first lieutenant.
I didn't know he was a ranger. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's also one of the few individuals who achieved what they call the EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. He received every one.
Wow.
He's just amazing actor, amazing person.
And
Anyway,
Oz,
sorry
correct me
to
if I'm wrong.
interrupt.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Oz. He went to school with Madonna and the Unabomber as well at University of Michigan, right?
I believe so. Yes, yes.
No, but like
He was his first
things
film
happen.
was also Strangelove with Kubrick. So
oh yeah, you're right.
Oh, wow.
You're right. But I didn't know he was a ranger. What?
No, that's badass, dude.
Darth Vader was
Yeah.
a ranger? He was a space ranger?
yeah,
Darth Vader was a space ranger.
I mean, he was.
I mean, okay, good. Yeah.
So outside, Brady, do you have any outside of the big three that we talked about, like Star Wars, Lion King, and Sandlot? Do you have any other ones that are just come to mind where you're like, these are James Earl Jones movies?
Yeah, Oz, keep your mic on because you're gonna have to help me with the name of this. Wasn't he in a movie where he played like an animated frog? It was like Froggy or something like that.
I'm trying to remember.
Or was he in Wind of the Willows? Was he
He-
in Wind of the Willows?
I believe so.
He was in like
to
a
look.
cartoon as a voice in the
Yeah.
cartoon, and I remember his voice. I barely even remember the cartoon, but I remember his voice in that. And then like, never mind. I'm not gonna say that because that might come off bad. Never mind. I had to stop myself because you know what, that would have got me canceled. So I knew.
Yeah.
We're not
Very
to
true.
episode 10
I like
yet.
to
Not
draw.
going to
I
that
like to
one.
ride the line, but I'm telling you that would have got me canceled. So no.
I can't wait for you to text me to tell me what it is.
I
Yeah.
don't see wind. I don't see wind there.
No, but it's called like Froggy or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
like,
believe
love
so.
that love that cartoon.
commercial. He was in
Commercial, yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
but it's like, and he was in Judge Dredd too. Oh shit!
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
my James Earl Jones moment. He played General Greer in the Tom Clancy movies. He played General
Yep.
Greer, so
yeah,
he was in
Hunt for
right,
Red October, man.
right, and Patriot
Yeah,
Games,
buddy.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was awesome in those two as well.
Dude, Hunt for
Oh, I just
my
got
dad
chills.
used to
Ooh.
watch the Hunt for October like every Sunday, and loved that. That's one of the first movies that comes to my mind about him.
And
is just
another
that
iconic
movie.
voice was in that movie too. Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Driving
Yep.
Miss Daisy.
Yeah, he was good.
You can't take it with you. The Gen game. There's several different ones.
Yeah, that was great. But like, okay, so going back to that quote though, that I carry with me from James Earl Jones though, is that, and I'm not even going to try to do it in his voice because I mean, I just can't do his voice, right? Like Oz would be closer to doing it in his voice than we would be. But he said, like, don't be too proud of this technical terror that you've constructed. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force, and that set the tone for me of how like Star Wars was going to roll, right? Like
Yep.
it set the tone that the Force is the biggest thing in Star Wars, and
Yeah.
you know these piddly Death Stars really aren't going to be something. And so it's just like anytime I hear Star Wars, that's the first thing that comes in my head. And the fact that they used him farther into a Star Wars 2 was so good. Because they used him in Rogue One too, right? Like in Rogue One.
They used him in Rogue One, and they
Yeah.
used him in Episode 3. You know? No.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so like,
Where is Padme?
yeah, where's Padme? But yeah, it's sad. It's sad for having him pass. I'm having the same feeling of like Betty White, right? Like,
Yeah.
Never mind. That's gonna get me canceled too. I need to stop.
I think I found it.
Yeah.
Freddy as Froz.
Freddy!
The movie The Frog. Yes, there's your movie. Yes.
Yes.
He was.
Oh, okay.
He was in that.
There it is.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
Oz for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like he definitely an icon. Definitely one of the better actors that we've ever had. And what's great though is we do have all these movies. We have all these things that we can look back on and we can watch and we can enjoy and pass down. I mean, that's what's really cool about the movies that he was in is they're timeless. We can always show our kids and our grandkids and our everyone Lion King. We can always show them Sandlot. We can always show them Star Wars, and they're always gonna resonate. Which unfortunately isn't something you can say nowadays with some actors and some movies that are being produced. But with James Earl Jones, you can show these movies and they're always gonna be phenomenal.
By the way, just off the top of my head, Coming to America. By the way, he also played an African king. He also played an African king. So Mufasa and Coming to America. But anyways, no, I totally agree with you.
African kings.
I 100% agree with you. And I will say this though, it's a hard person to lose because he was like my dad outside of my dad when it comes to like watching movies and stuff, right? Like he was Darth Vader, this bad dad that then had this final redeeming arc at the end of the movie, and a lot of people will disagree with that, and that's fine. But you have Mufasa; he was the dad in Coming to America. You're a damn fool, right? Like, it was awesome, man. And so James Earl Jones, if your spirit's out there listening, thank you for all the amazing watches, all the amazing times, and thank you for your voice because it will be something that I know is so iconic that I will end up dying still remembering.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, for sure, 100%. And for me, again, I will always talk about how baseball is a part of my life. And not only did he have Sandlot, but he had Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. I mean, that you just can't. Or actually, he will come. When we find out later. But it's just the fact that you can have somebody like him change people's lives quite literally is just incredible. And it's we don't have a lot of those actors left. Nope. And they're but they're there. And so same thing. Somehow if James Earl Jones spirit's watching this somehow, love you, thank you for all of the amazing movies, all the amazing memories. But enough being sad. We should probably wrap this up.
So the good thing is though, let's just be real, the good thing is we still have George Clooney Batman as iconic.
Yes. Let's talk about it.
Gross.
he goes like
whatever. Gross.
Well, we should probably end this before we start not becoming friends anymore.
Dude, I'll never not be your friend, but your choice in Batman is terrible. Terrible. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, guys, thank you everybody who's been listening to this. Thank you everybody who's been watching this. And I'm Benski. You can find me on TikTok at basically Benski, also on Instagram. Brady, where can they find you?
Everywhere that you see social media, you can find me under Brady Meets World, and you can find us always bantering back and forth. Thank you, Oz, for helping us out with the show. And I forgot my end line now. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's all right.
It's been a long week.
Hey, I will tell you guys to keep questioning everything.
And this is where the conversation never stops. That's what it is. Jeez.
Got it.
Thank you for joining us for Basically Us. We are glad you enjoyed the show and hope to see you next time when Brady says,
Oz, you're supposed to put it on the screen for me.
See you next time.